Yes, good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Well, hang on, let me start that again. Good evening, everybody. Just a quick, cheeky little hour. We're in the lead up, aren't we, to the North London derby, and everyone's got their say on it. Everyone thinks we should play a different formation. Everyone thinks we should play different players. We're going to find out. I've got a feeling it's going to be the four at the back. I think going to three at the back, I don't mind seeing it. Just don't know if he's going to try it with so few centre halves available, unless Takai, Dragusin, or Davis are miraculously fit enough to play. I don't think he's going to try it. That's only my opinion. I think it makes sense. I think if you're going to do that, I think you've got to have players available. Anyway, good evening. How are we all? We're edging back towards the Premier League. I'm starting to see rumours for all football clubs. Scotland have qualified for the World Cup. Wales have qualified for the playoffs for the World Cup. Italy in the balance, whether they go through or not. I'm seeing that obviously Spurs and Man City and Arsenal and Liverpool all want Semenyo. There's lots of talks about Ivan Toney be coming back to the Premier League. Hearing reports today that Chelsea might want him. It's all happening. It's all happening as we gear back up for the Premier League. It's an interesting one, isn't it? This is the third international break that we have had to endure. And I'll be brutally honest, it is enduring it, isn't it? I mean, I don't know about you lot, and I'd say this would be a good exercise. Let me know in the chat, what's your overriding feeling when the international break is on? Mine is one of, is it boredom? Would that be my word? Boredom, or I don't know, just impatience, just sitting there going, oh my gosh, for the next 13, 14 days, we've got to worry about who are England battering 4-0 because we're playing absolute nobodies, and who are we, what are we waiting for? So boredom is probably a very, very good word. But I can't remember now. I might be wrong here. Just off the top of my head, I can't remember a time that we've come out of an international break and gone straight into a North London derby. Now, I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I just can't think of when it did. People, you lot in the chat will all tell me if what the date was when it last happened. I'm not sure, but that puts a little bit of edge on it, doesn't it? It puts a little bit of edge on the North London derby, because going into the game, listen, let's be brutally honest. I think you've got to make Arsenal massive favourites. You do. Doesn't mean we can't win. Doesn't mean we won't. Doesn't mean we won't draw. But you would have to say that Arsenal were the overwhelming favourites. And let me just double check this. When I looked at the bookmakers today, the lowest you can get Spurs is 7.5 to 1. 7.5 to 1. Oh my God, we've already got a trial. I can't believe it. Ben says, Sav, a quick question. Would you have celebrated the Europa League if you didn't have a YouTube channel and put your opinions on the internet? I mean, I don't know who this is. I'll bet you everybody that if we have a look at this Ben, how long ago do you reckon that this Ben created his channel? I'm going to go 2 weeks. Here we go. I'm going to go with 2 weeks. Let's have a look. Go to the channel. Here we go. Channel was created on the 19th of November, 2025. Now, I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty sure today is the 19th of November, 2025. Makes you laugh. I did celebrate winning the Europa League. It was a massive win. We had to win the Europa League. I don't understand. These people can't. I mean, I don't know what the Europa League is. Nothing to do with this. We're talking about a North London derby. Did it say 52 minutes ago? Like 52 minutes ago, this person created their account. I mean, the first thing I'm going to say is what a sad fucker, right? Imagine Sav's going live. Let me create an account. Let me create an account. I know, no picture. I'll call myself, oh, let me be creative. Ben. I'll call myself Ben because it's only 3 letters and I'm probably thick as shit. Oh my gosh, I've been doing this far too long. Yeah, not sure what the Europa League has got to do with anything. We are now, I mean, the Europa League was in May. We're in November. We're nearly at Christmas. Come on. When are we going to stop worrying about May? We're in Christmas. So I think this is going to be really interesting. Arsenal are heavy favourites. I mean, the lowest you can get Arsenal, the lowest you can get Arsenal is at I mean, if you want to do decimals, is at 1.40. 1.40. So put on £1 and win back £1.40. Madness. So, and the lowest you can get Spurs is 7.5 to 1. So the bookmakers are literally giving Spurs no chance at all. Now, we know that the bookmakers, listen, they're not often wrong. They're not often wrong. They are wrong sometimes, but not often. And I would make them right with their math, so to speak. I would make them right. However, it's a derby. You never know what will happen. Arsenal are the superior team. They've got a better defense, better midfield, better forward line, but it's a derby. And let's be fair, the pressure is on them. Yeah. The pressure must be on them. And as I said to some of you yesterday, when I was filming yesterday in London with troops, and this is what I said to him. You'll see it when it comes out live. I said I make him right on everything he was saying about the combined 11, about Arsenal being superior. But what I said to him was, what that means is, I said to him, you have to beat us then. You have to beat us. There's no excuse, right? There can be no excuse for this Arsenal team not beating Spurs. So hopefully that pressure on them, hopefully, can be of advantage to us. It can be advantageous to Tottenham. Anything can happen in a derby, can't it? Someone goes down to 10 men in the first 5 minutes and it completely changes the game. Someone scores an own goal in the last minute of the game and loses it for their club. All of these different things that can happen. But let's be fair, Arsenal, the pressure is on them. They have to win this game. I have not factored in a point for Tottenham in this game. For me, it will be a bonus. Getting anything from this game is a bonus. Said it before, I would snap your hand. I'd snap my hand off for a point right now. By the way, I will be moving you over after this. People are asking me where I'll be sending people. Of course, I'll send them over to the Spurs corner for Stel and those boys. Let me do that now before I forget. I think they're live at 8:30, aren't they? So where are we? What are they? It's the Spurs corner, isn't it? Is it coming up on my screen? And are they 8:30? Yeah. So we've set for a redirect to Stel and those boys at 8:30. That's already sorted, so we can all relax. So this is going to be an interesting one. I'd love to, as I said, I'd love to sit here and say, yeah, we're the favourites. Yep, we've got enough to beat them. But what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at what possible formations and lineups we can play. And then we'll look at Arsenal and we'll see where can they be hurt. What's their downfall? Because I don't believe they've lost. If I'm not wrong, I'm sure there's some Arsenal fans in the chat. Arsenal have lost one game in all competitions, I believe. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure they've only lost one, and that was at Anfield. Just quickly, Ben, one more comment, and then you're going, mate. One more comment, and then you're going. Aren't you getting bored? I'll be honest. I know I'm getting bored. Aren't you getting a little bit bored of this whole thing about me not celebrating? which is a lie anyway. It was a huge relief and celebrated. But I think just stop it now. I think, you know, you'd shit yourself in a one-on-one conversation. You know, as I said, you know, if you had anything about you, you'd come on, you'd have a chat with me and say these things to my face, but you won't because it's easier to troll. So just relax. All right. Until you grow a pair, just relax a little bit. We all saw that you created your account about an hour ago, like 1 hour ago. How sad do you have to be? I've probably blocked you before and now you need another account. It's really, really pathetic. So, Arsenal are favourites. I don't think there's anyone in my chat that is, I don't know. Does anyone here make Spurs favourites? Is anyone willing to put their chest out and say that Spurs are favourites for this North London derby? I think, as I said to Troops yesterday, you'll see this, as I said, when the video comes out of me and Troops, you'll see this. Said to him, it concerns me greatly at how they've gone like this and we've gone like this over the last 5-6 years. It concerns me greatly. And that doesn't mean we can't win. It doesn't. I'll keep reiterating that. And Destiny, we hope they're bottle jobs. We hope they are. But at the moment, I can't remember when they last lost a game of football. They don't concede goals, really. They had like 10 clean sheets in a row. And we're not the greatest going forward. So I think this is going to be a very, very interesting matchup, isn't it? My concern as a Spurs fan is, as I've said before, I think this is a painfully average squad of footballers at Spurs. And I think to have any chance to win the bigger games, I think we need to have our best attacking players playing. And I think we're going to be going to this game, no Mawani, possibly no Kudus, no Kulu, no Maddison. I think it's a tall order. It's a really tall order. And I'm calm about it. For me, it will be a pleasant surprise. It'll be a pleasant surprise to get something. By the way, I think if Spurs can grab a point, let me ask you in the chat, who, if I offer you right now a point, are you snatching my hand off for it? Right now, I'm offering you 1 point. Are you taking it away at the Gunners where we never win? Who's taking it? Who's taking it? Let me know in the chat. Yes or no. Who's taking the point? Because I'm going to call bullshit on anyone that says no is lying. Anyone that says no is lying. I'm sure I thought so. Everyone's saying it. Everyone's taking the point. Yeah. I think that would be brilliant from a Spurs perspective to take a point. 3 points would be absolutely brilliant. 3 points would be amazing, wouldn't it? So let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. I mean, there's a lot of people talking about they want to see 3 at the back. And again, I don't disagree in some ways, but I also don't know we've got the players fit enough. So let's have a look. Let me share my screen and we'll go to the lineup builder. So you can see then, hang on, I haven't filled the players in, so ignore who's where at the moment. For me, I know a lot of people want to see, I think a lot of people want to see this, don't they? Let's have a look. So I think a lot of people want to see, well, that would be Danso, Kevin Danso, and then you'd have Destiny Adogi there. You'd have Pedro Porro there. Bennett Corpali, probably Kudus Simmons, and then I don't know, whoever, Richie, Tell, Mawani. Let's just put Mawani there for a moment, even though I know he's injured, right? Because I can't bother to have the debate at the moment about who goes up front. Now, on paper, I quite like it. On paper, I quite like it. My concern is what happens if one of that back 3 gets injured during the game? You've got to come away from that, haven't you? If one of those back 3 gets injured in that game, you've got to come away from that, because I don't think Davis, I don't think Dragoshin, and I don't think Takai, I don't think any of them are back. Now, I know that Radu Dragoshin's been in training, but we've been told that he's some way off being fit enough to play. Huge difference, right, between training and being able to play. So I don't think we will see that. Now, this would be quite interesting to see because, yes, it gives you 3 at the back. it allows you to pack the midfield, because we know one of the things that we do know, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, Xavi Simons has been really, really good at coming back into midfield and helping out, tackling back, getting stuck in. He's been very good at that. As much as people will want more from him going forward, of course we all do, and hopefully we see that over time when he settles. I think that what that allows you to do is get three bodies in the middle, and it allows you with Kudus, if he's fit. I haven't seen anything. I think it allows Kudus to roam a little bit. I think it allows Kudus to roam. Now, I don't know, has anyone seen anything on Kudus? Do we know if he's available? I haven't. And I think if he doesn't play, as well as Mawani, as well as Kulu, Madison, I think you're starting to look really threadbare in those forward areas. Now, that front three I quite like in this kind of formation. I don't mind it. But I do believe that Kolo Mawani's not going to make it. I do believe that what was it? Was it fractured cheek? I'm not sure he broke his cheek. I'm pretty sure he fractured it, right? Now, I don't know whether that means he'll be able to play with a mask. By the way, this is a guy we're talking about that's never scored a goal. But by the way, jaw, not cheek, jaw, sorry. Guys, I'm just going to ask, guys in the chat, guys, I know it's a North London derby. I know that tempers are high, but can we not? I'm seeing people threatening each other in the chat. Come on, look, guys, let's be fair. This is about 11 men running around and kicking leather, right? Let's not have any of this. Come on, I'll fight you. Come on, guys. Please, can we not do that here? I think everyone's getting a little bit too hyped up. It's only Wednesday. The game's not till Sunday, right? It might be war, but it's friendly war, people. Yes, Destiny 5. So can we all please just take a breath, count to 5, count to 10, whatever works for you, and calm down. Calm down. Focus that energy on buying me a coffee or a super chat or something, or smashing the like button or subscribing. Come on. Let's not do the whole threatening each other thing. It's really, really, really silly, and it is very childish. Have the banter. Call Arsenal bottle jobs. Arsenal, call us whatever you want, but you don't need to threaten each other. Come on, people. And some of you have been in my chat for years, all right? So let's stop doing this. And whoever said my second team is Olympiacos, don't know where you got that from. My second team is not Olympiacos. My second team, if anyone, will be Bromley or Charlton. I don't think I really have a second team, to be brutally honest. Frank said that Mo Kudus was touch and go for Man United, so I'm expecting him to be okay after a couple of weeks. I would hope so. I really, really, really hope so, mate. I really, really hope so. I think Kudus is a huge loss. I think when a lot of people are going, oh, he frustrates me, he does this, he does that. When he doesn't play, I think there's a huge drop-off from our forward line. Massive drop-off. And if you now add Mawani into that, I think Mawani's got a lot of strengths. I'm with Stel on this one. I'm sure some of you have seen Stel when he's talking about Mawani. I like Mawani, but I do think he's being overhyped. We're in November, and the guy has not scored a goal in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt. Lots of injuries, stopping and starting. And that leads me to believe that I think I'm going to show you what I think the team will be. All right. Now, I think this is what the team will be. Let me change this. I don't think it will be a back three with the players we've got available. I think that the team will look like this. I think Destiny Udogie will play there. I think Kudus, if he's fit, will play there. I think this is going to be Richarlison because we've got no one else fit. And I think this is going to be Wilson Odegaard. I think that is your 11, including Vicario. Let's put Vicario in, even though you can't see it probably. I think that is going to be the 11 that starts versus Arsenal. Now, you feel free, throw the hate, all the banter at me, cuss me out. I think that's going to be the 11. Now, the other option could be that Matisse Tell goes in instead of Richarlison. Could see that. But I do think if fit, these two have to play. I think Paulinho and Bentancur away from home must start. I think they must start. They are experienced. They're both workhorses. They both get stuck in. And what they will do is Bentancur won't go running around like mad and give the ball away like Sarr and Bergvall will. So I think you're likely going to see this. I might be wrong. And this depends. All the players are coming back from international duty. I mean, we're saying that midfield, this is what we've bought. Unfortunately, Reezy, this is what we've bought. Might be Sarr instead of Bentancur, but none of the midfield options excite me. I'll be honest. I've said this for a long time. You guys know I've said this. I think this is the weakest set of midfielders we've had for a very long time. And that's saying something. I think we've bought a lot of younger players that, for me, don't particularly do... One second. Bear with me 1 second. That don't actually have a specialist position. Now, I know we say midfield, but they don't actually have a specialist. Are they a ball-playing midfielder? Are they creative? Are they defensive? Are they attacking? I think we've got a lot of lads that do meh. Gray is meh. Bergvall, Sarr. Now, Bentancur for me is the best of a bad bunch. Now, that doesn't mean I rate him massively. So please let me put that out there right now. I think Bentancur for me is the best of a bad bunch. So I think it's going to be this. Now, what I'd love to see is I'd love to see that Mawani makes it. And then you've got Mawani up top to go alongside Simmons and Kudus. Right? But I think the worry is going to be that Arsenal are going to have a lot of the football. I think if we're honest, I think Arsenal are probably going to have a lot of the football. And I think we're going to have to do a lot of work. A lot of tackling is going to have to happen, a lot of work rate, and more than anything, this is the key thing for me, a lot of being switched on up there, a lot of concentration. We've had that away from home. We have, and people in the chat I can see you're talking about our away form, absolutely. And that is what gives me hope. But this is the best team we've faced all year. And it is. I'm sorry. I know there's Spurs fans going to be screaming at me going, you're an Arsenal fan. This is the best team we faced all year. They are top of the Premier League by 4 points. They've lost one game all season. They've conceded 5 goals. 5 goals all year. So this is going to be tough, which means winning will be even sweeter. If you can win, it's going to be even sweeter. But a draw, I think, is a fantastic result as well. But going to be very, very tough. The interesting thing here is I'm seeing people say they play Papasar in with Bentancur and Paulinho. The worry I have then is you then absolutely have no outball. You then have no outball. Simmons is an outball. Simmons is absolutely an outball. And so far hasn't managed to get the final end product going, but he is an outball. He's a guy that wants the ball on the half turn and goes, right, what can I do going forward? My worry is without that, Sarr, Bentancur, and Paulinho don't have it, all 3 of them. Now, I don't know. He might go with Sarr. He might do, and that is absolutely his choice. He is the manager. And this is a good point as well. Big up, Cole. How you doing, my man? This is a good point. He will get fouled high up the pitch. Agreed. And there is a lot to be said for that. Now, the problem with, let's say we put Papa Sarr in there, and let's change it to more of a 4-3-3, right? It would then become more of a 4-3-3. So let me just change that. So it then becomes more of that, right? Now my worry here with this is the link between the midfield and attack is now non-existent. You got no Kulu, no Maddison, or Xavi Simons. So it's a real difficult one. Yes, you pack the midfield. Yes, you make it more difficult for Arsenal to play. But the reason I would have Simons in there is Simons does get back and help out. He does have very good work rate, Xavi Simons. And it allows you to play the forward pass. It's the balance. By the way, I don't think there's any particular right or wrong here. I've told you guys for years, I don't think it really matters. I think the players we've got are very average. I think a lot of, when I look at this 11, other than Kudus, other than Paulinho and the two centre-backs, I think it's very, very average. I think it's a very average squad. People talking about top 4, people talking about those. I think it's way off. I think miles off. So maybe Thomas Frank goes in to stifle them. Now, nothing wrong with that. Maybe he goes in to try and hit them on the break. And nothing wrong with that. What we do know is if we try and play Arsenal, at their own game in terms of them keeping the ball, we will lose. We will lose that particular game of keep ball because they're better at it than we are. They have very good midfielders. Eze, Declan Rice, Zubimendi. They're all very comfortable on the football. Calafiori is very comfortable on the ball, right? So this is going to be a real interesting game. Now, if we had a full strength squad, then we'd have a very different conversation, right? Then we would have a very different conversation. Where does Kulu play? Where does Maddison play? Where does Kudus play? And where does Simons play? But at the moment, we don't really have a lot. At the moment, we don't really have a lot of option. The only other option in here you could say would maybe be a Bergvall. But I saw this out of the corner of my eye. Completely agree. Said, big up to Jordan. How you doing, man? Hope you're well. Said, problem with Sarr and Bergvall is they are so loose and erratic. Completely agree with you. But Xavi may get eaten physically. So I'd go with Sarr's runner. And I agree with you with that's the concern with Xavi Simons, right? Is will he get eaten up physically? And this is the problem. And I'll come back to my sentence that I always come back to. When you buy lightweight younger players, this is what's going to happen, right? This will happen. And I think it's a concern that right now we don't have different options. You know, we can't say, well, today we'll play our ball-playing midfielder. Tomorrow we'll play our hard-working DM alongside Paulinho. We don't have that. What we do know is we've got Paulinho, right? We've got Paulinho who's an out-and-out DM. And then we've got a lot of midfielders that run around and work hard. And that's what we do know. We do know they'll work hard. But ball retention is a massive part of this game. So, listen, if you put a gun to my head, I'd say that Arsenal are going to win this game. If I were going to talk from the heart, I will say that Tottenham will grab a draw. And I'll be in fairyland to say Spurs will win. But crazier things have happened. What I want to see from this game, guys and girls, is I want to see the Spurs give a good account of themselves. You know, I don't want to be seeing a can't believe we're 3-0 down at half-time type performance. That's what I would love to think. That's what I would hope. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. But it is a very, very good Arsenal team. We know that. And I've got a feeling they're going to be massively, massively up for this. And on form, they win. Football, though, isn't played on form. Football isn't played on paper. So we'll see, won't we? Anyone out there think that there might be a curveball, bit of a surprise, somebody that we're not expecting, or do we just not have that luxury at the moment? I mean, when I put this 11 out, I can't really see other than the Simmons one that we had before, I can't really see that he's got much option. Spence is an option, of course. I don't know where else you go. In the back four, the only one you've got that could come in is Spence. In midfield, possibly Bergvall. And in the forward line, it's do we play Tell or do you play Richarlison? And when you look at it like that, guys, if you're Thomas Frank, think about it, right? Let me remove that off the screen. If you're Thomas Frank, you're sitting there and going, God, there's not loads I can do. I can tweak, I can do a few things, here, but I haven't really got loads of options. So I think that the team kind of picks itself. I can't see that he's going to start Spence above Porro. So I think that picks itself. It's going to be about who plays up top out of Richarlison and Tell, and who plays in midfield out of Saab, Bergvall, or Simmons. That's the only things I think he can do. Odegaard kind of picks himself on the left. And again, this may change depending on Mawani, but I believe Mawani is out. But what we've got to do is work hard and make sure that the pressure is on Arsenal. Make Arsenal earn it. That's what I want to see. If they're going to beat us, make them earn it. Yeah? Not saying they will beat us, but if they're going to, make them earn it. Make them earn it. Don't let them come away with a nice, easy 3-4-0 win. Like let's not do that. Let's make them earn the 3 points. Let's make them, let's piss their title hopes off. Let's get a point. Let's get a point, which would probably see if Man City win, Man City go 2 points behind them. All right? Let's get the win. Let's just do something. Let's have that fight, that character, that belief. Now, listen, I'm a believer in the Q word. For any of you that watch me, the Q word trumps all, right? And for any of you that don't know what I'm talking about the word quality. I see a lot of people talking about it's about who wants it more. No, it's not. It's not just about who wants it more. Quality. You've got to want it. You've got to have the quality and you've got to have the luck. There's a lot of factors that have to go into this sort of thing. Now, we go into Man City games where they've got better quality than us, but we managed to get the win. We set up well, we're hard to beat, and we hit them. But this is very different because what Man City aren't is Man City aren't rock solid at the back. And the thing is, I'm looking at this forward line and just thinking to myself, who's going to worry Saliba? Who's going to worry Calafiori? Who's going to worry? I'm guessing it will be Hincapi or Mosquera. One of those two will start centre back instead of Gabriel, who's out. So I'm looking and saying, who's going to worry them? And naturally, I gravitate towards Mo Kudus. Naturally, right? Naturally, I gravitate towards Kudus. Kudus is the guy where I think, yeah, you're the one who could do something. You're the one who could do something, right? And that is why, I'll be honest, I am like that. I am like, please be fit. Because I think if we have a front three that doesn't have Kudus or Mawani, I'll be honest, I can't see any way, shape or form where we threaten them. I just can't. Unless it's set pieces, I just can't see it. Now, some of you will probably right now be going, oh, you're negative. I'm not. I'm just looking at the forward line and thinking, whenever we've hurt them in the past, it's been with Son, it's been with Kane, it's been with Bale. We don't have that anymore. So we need the Kuduses to be fit, the Mawanis maybe. But I do think someone made a great point. I do think that Matisse Tell will start because he's not available for the PSG game, is he? So I think the team very much picks itself. I really, really do. I think maybe one or two here or there. My mate Matt, oh God, did anyone see Matt absolutely ripping the piss out of me in the Spurs 5 chat the other night? And now he's here in my chat. See what I mean? It's mad. I think Gray's dynamism, yeah, but he's injured. His composure to ball and energy would help him, yeah, but he's injured. He never hides away from it. He's injured. By the way, what dynamism? Do you know what? The way people talk about Archie Gray, honestly, guys, I don't know what games they're watching where I don't watch. I've never ever watched Archie Gray and gone, oh my God, the dynamism. I've never seen it. I watch him and go, all right. And the fact that he is injured. And the fact that he's injured, I mean, it just makes it such a silly comment, right? How can you be a Spurs fan, come into the chat after telling the Spurs 5 chat the other night, big up to the boys at the Spurs 5, after telling the Spurs 5 boys the other day, right, that I lie when I absolutely haven't, and then comes in my chat and says we need Archie Gray when he's out injured, isn't he, until mid-December or something? I genuinely don't know what to say. A win is very plausible. They struggle to break teams down. Yeah, they're really struggling to break teams down while they're sitting 4 points clear at the top. We need to take make them break with pace, Odegaard, Johnson, etc. We can score from set pieces too, like London did. Derby is 50. This guy is, honestly, he's great. Matt, listen, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, right? For the sake of peace, I will accept your apology. Yeah, but you were fucking bang out of order, right? You were bang out of order, right? On the Spurs 5. You know what you did. You went in there, and I'll tell you what you do, Matt. You ruin it for me. I'm a football fan like everyone else, and you ruin it for me to be able to go into another chat and talk because all you're doing is cussing me, right? So if you noticed, I was in there for 10 minutes and then left because all you were doing was trying to get everybody else to agree with you that I'm an arsehole and that I did this. Matt, you've never been blocked for only talking football. You're blocked because you troll, right? Now, I'm happy to accept the apologies, right? But then you come in here tonight and you start talking about Archie Gray should play when you know he's injured for the game. So it's like you've got to just pick a lane and stay. This is why everybody's so confused about you, mate. Everyone's so confused. You say you're not a troll, but everything you do is trolling. You weren't blocked. You've not been blocked this time around. You've not been, you keep this lie that I've blocked you. I can show everybody right now my block list, right? You weren't blocked the other day when you told everyone you was. I checked, you weren't, and now you're here, right? So no, let's stop doing this. So just chill out, right? Anyway. So yeah, so I think it's really, really important. I think it's very, very important that we get Kudus fit. I think it's very important that we get Kudus fit. He's someone that can get you up the pitch and hopefully get in and behind Calafiori. But I think Calafiori is a good player. And Calafiori, I think, is a good lesson to all of us. And I'll tell you why when I've had a bit of my drink. I think Calafiori is a good lesson for all of us. He came into Arsenal, didn't hit the ground running, and everyone went, what a waste. This season, he looks brilliant. And I think that is why when I'm asked questions about how long do you give Xavi Simons? I mean, some players like that. Other players, half a season. Other players need a season to settle in. I think Calafiori, whenever I've watched Arsenal, has looked very good. He's very good at getting forward as well. So I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. No, Ants Gabriel is out injured for them. Did I see that he was out for 2 months maybe or 6 weeks, something like that? So I don't think he's available. But look, let's be fair. Arsenal have got no excuse. Arsenal have got their sub-centre-backs, right? Their sub-centre-backs are Mosquera, yeah, and Hincapi. I mean, Mosquera and Hincapi. I mean, two very, very good, capable centre-backs. I mean, Hincapi's class. So, Arsenal, for me, the pressure's on them. The pressure's on them. They have to beat us, right? No one, let's put it this way, and tell me in the chat if you agree or disagree with me. No one, right? No one is going to be surprised if Arsenal beat us. Is that fair? But I think everyone will be surprised if we beat Arsenal. That tells you how much they are favourites for this game. That tells you why the bookies have got Spurs at such massive odds to win this game. We have got massive odds to win this game. You can almost, if you stuck 100 quid on Spurs to win this game, and they did, you're getting nearly 800 quid back. That's huge. If you put that on Arsenal, you'll get 140 quid back. That, for anyone who doesn't understand betting, that is massive. That is the bookie saying Spurs haven't got a chance. Now, they'll know. They'll know. Let's see what they've got for the draw. Let's see what the bookies have got for the draw. So you can get the draw as low as 4.5 to 1. You can get the draw at 4.5 to 1. The win at 7.5 to 1 for Spurs. And the lowest I can get Arsenal, a Betfred, I've got Arsenal at 1.36. 1.36. So for anyone who doesn't understand how betting works, put a pound on, get £1.36 back, right? Like, it's madness. Absolutely madness. So the bookies are saying, yeah, we think Arsenal have won it. I think most fans across the country will have, if they do, I mean, I can't imagine any Spurs fans will, but anybody who does have an accurate a weekend, most fans that don't support Spurs are going to have Arsenal in their ACCA, right? So, look, it's tough. Everything's against us. Injuries, the bookies, who's available. We're playing the best squad in the country. They're top of the table. Everything's against us. Everything. So what I don't want to see is if we do lose this game, fans just losing their minds again and again and again. Yeah, again and again. And I think if Frank had all of his squad to pick from, I think he can set us up to win this game. I just think there's too many players out. I think there's too many attacking players out. And I don't know, other than set pieces, where the goals are going to come from. I just don't. That's not Arsenal. Playing Arsenal, that is in most games. And anyone who watches me, you know I've been saying this for years. Spurs have just whittled away at that quality forward line we had. You go back 4 or 5 years where the front three was Bale, Son and Kane. And now you look at it. And we're just so many million miles away from it. It's such a very average squad. I think it's painfully average. I think it's painfully average. Now, it's not bottom half average, but average in the sense of when I compare it to Chelsea and Arsenal and City and Liverpool, and it's just very, very average. And that's why I think Frank's doing a good job with the players he's got. So, look, put up a fight, work hard, but this is the quality Arsenal team. We're going to be well up for it. So this is going to be, it's going to be tough. And I've made peace with that. I kind of do make peace every year with a North London derby when we play away at Arsenal. Jamie, get absolutely. As I said this on yesterday's show, didn't I? Kane and Son covered up so much at this football club for a decade. Now, there was that really good team under Poch for 3 years where it was a brilliant team and they didn't cover it up. But after that, for 4 or 5 seasons, this was covered up by Kane and Son. You had Jose, who had a crap back four, a crap midfield, but Son and Kane covered over everything. You had Conte, who had crap midfield, crap defence, but Son and Kane. And now I think we have a good back four. I think we have a poor midfield, and I think we have a poor forward line. So we don't have Kane and Son to get us out of trouble. So that's why I think we're doing a good job. And yeah, is it going to be tough to replace players like Kane and Son? Yes. But with the players we picked to replace them over the years, yeah. I just think it was really poor. I think that was really, really poor. I mean, as I said, for anyone that didn't hear it, I got the list yesterday. Over the last 3 or 4 years, these are the forwards we've signed: Tell, Solanke, Odeber, Johnson, Valise, Richarlison, Brian Hill. And somebody has to take the blame for that at Tottenham, to look and go, right, you've got Son and Kane. What are we going to do? Because they're not going to be here forever. And we didn't do anything. We didn't replace either of them. And you're not going to find another Kane. Granted, you're not going to find another Harry Kane. I get it. And even if you can find another Harry Kane in the world, they're not signing for Tottenham because they're going to be one of the best strikers in the world. But to spend it the way they spent it just really grinds my gears. And if anyone watches Family Guy, you'll know it grinds my gears. Right? There are 3 top strikers in the world of football. Right? There are 3. Haaland, Kane, and Lewandowski. Right? Spurs aren't signing Haaland or Lewandowski. Then you've got forwards that score goals that aren't as such forwards, like Mbappe, players like Mbappe, players like Salah. But we can't sign players like that. But 290 million. Sorry, no, let me take away because Gray's in that as well. So it was roughly 255 million on those 7 players. You know, when you just think, come on, like, who scouted them? Who was it that said, you know what we need? We need Brian Hill. No, we don't. We need Valise. No, we need Richie. No, it's Solanke. No, it's Odeber. No, it's Tell. How in all of those hundreds of millions of pounds is this the selection of forwards that Spurs have put together? Now, Kudus, yes, you could say we started to remedy it this window with Kudus on the right. But on the left and through the middle, it's I've been using this phrase lately. It's powder puff, isn't it? It's absolute powder puff. It's really, really poor to go from Kane and Son to those guys. It's like going from shopping at Harrods to shopping at Poundland. You know, we didn't even go in the middle. We didn't even go to Sainsbury's or Waitrose from Harrods. We went straight to Poundland. And this is why I know a lot of people want me to be angry. Why aren't you more angry with Spurs' performances? Well, I'm looking at the players. I'm not silly. I'm looking at the players and going, yeah, I'm not expecting miracles. They've not signed players that inspire me. Mawani doesn't inspire me. Yeah. Richarlison, Solanke, Tell, Scarlett, Odeber, Johnson. These players don't inspire me. These are very average, run-of-the-mill footballers. Some of them, for me, aren't even Premier League ready. And that is why, as I said, if right now Spurs had Kane and Son in their peak up front, we'd be flying. Because Kane and Son, we'd keep it tight at the back like we are, and Kane and Son would do the rest up top. Bish, bash, bosh. But this is the first time as a fan base in 11 seasons we're seeing neither. You think we had for years both of them. Now, this is the first time we're seeing neither. Right? Neither. And this, absolute this, it is Poundland quality at Waitrose prices. You look at this. I've got it written down here, the players, right? I've got it written down here. Tell was 39 million. Who went out and said for 40 million, this is the best we can buy? It's utterly bamboozling. It bamboozles me. Solanke, who said, again, I'll ask the question, who said, right, you got 56 million to go and spend on a striker? And someone came back and went, this is the best I can find across the world. That person should be sacked. Odeber at 26 million. Whatever. Johnson, 48 million. Again, who went across Europe or the world of football and said, this is our guy. 48 million, this is our guy. Valise. Now, Valise was only 13 million quid, right? But who scouted him? Who scouted that guy and said, we must have him? That's the guy. We must get him. Richie, 51 million. 51 million. So you got people. You get people like this going, I wish he would play more expansive. With who? Who's expansive in our team? They're words. People say it. Words. Be more expansive. Cool. With who? Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Of course it matters. To be more expansive, to be more expressive, you need expansive, expressive footballers, right? Now, maybe when they're all fit, when Kulu's fit, when Maddison's fit, when Simmons is settled in, when Mawani's fit, when Kudus is fit, now you're talking different. But right now, we might be playing at the weekend with not one of those players I mentioned. And you're looking at Richie, Tell, and Odegaard and going, go on, be expansive. Right, this is what I love when people say that, like Matt said, be expansive with those players. So that's why I'm not angry about it. That's why I'm not upset about it. That's why I think we need a lot of time, right? That's why I think we need a lot of patience, because that's how it works. But again, it's always, I've noticed it's always Matt and Reezy saying these things. But when you're saying you can be expansive with these players, when have you seen these players be expansive? When have you seen them be expansive? You think, how many goals is Brentford team scored? Why? When they went forward brilliantly. Why? On Buemo, Wissa, Toney, Watkins, Damsgaard, shot, right? All of these players. And how long did it take for Brentford to get that right? He's had 3 months at Spurs, and we're going, be expansive, and absolutely, my man, Acid Twin. Absolutely. We've got footballers that can't pass a ball, and we want the team to be expansive. This is what I mean. You've got to have square. I worked with a coach years ago, and he always used to say to me, square pegs, square holes. Say, should he play on the right? Square pegs, square holes. Don't give me a player out of position. Square pegs, square holes. I want to play this form. Okay, you want to play that formation? Who's your DM? Well, he could play. No, you ain't got a DM. You don't do that. Don't do that. You ain't got a DM. Square pegs, square holes. Right? And I think once we get those players, you will see a different Spurs. We will attack better. We will look more fluid. But you've got to have the players. And I think a lot of people have overrated this squad for a very long time. Now, yeah, agreed. It's not a 17th place squad. We know that. But it's also not a top 4 squad. We know that. That's why, for me, I think this is anywhere in between 6th, 7th, 8th, depending on injuries, depending on form, depending on a number of factors. And I tell you what, Jordan, absolutely bang on. Right? Absolutely bang on. We have seen this team be expansive, and we lost 22 games. Absolutely bang on, Jordan. When we were wide open and expansive last year, we lost every game. And as fans, we said, we wish he'd tweak it. Now, those same very fans are going, oh, I wish we'd be more expansive. So basically, you're asking to lose games, right? Look, you can be expansive when you are going forward with quality players, not with Tell and Odegaard and Johnson, people who can't pass the football. Matt, honestly, mate, this is why you get blocked. I didn't say this at all. Matt, this is why you get blocked, right? I've not conflated counter-attacking football in bursts. I've not conflated that. You've made that up. Everyone keeps seeing you keep making things up. No one has seen me say that. What I said was his team went forward very well. I didn't say whether it was transition, front-footed, right? I didn't say that, Matt. So please, if you keep lying, you'll get blocked. When you're saying I can't accept that, listen, Whatever we want to see, you've got to have the right players to play it. Whether it's transition, whether it's counter-attack, whether it's free-flowing, you have to have the right players to play it. Right? You've got to have the right players to play it. And Spurs don't. But still, fans, I want to be expansive. I want to be expansive. Cool. You saw it last season. We lost nearly every week. We lost nearly every week. And it wasn't fun to watch. It wasn't fun to watch. Teams need a balance. Teams need a balance to the way they play. And unfortunately, the balance for Spurs at the moment is we're better at the back than we are going forward with the players we've got. Unfortunately, that's it. Now, as I said, you get Maddison fit, you get Kulu fit, and Kudus, and Simmons, and Mawani. Suddenly, we look a bit different. Imagine I said this to you, right? Imagine I said this to you, right? And again, it depends on the game and the opposition. But imagine I said this to you at home. Imagine you said, we're in a home game, we should win. And I'm putting Kulu there. And I'm putting Xavi Simmons there. And I'm saying James Maddison can go there and he can interchange with Simmons. And then Mawani goes there, right? Now, if I'm looking, sorry, hang on, I didn't show you guys. Now, if I've got that, now I'm asking questions. Now I'm asking the questions and going, yeah, why can't we play better football? Because now I've added 2 technicians into the team, haven't I? I've added 2 technicians into the team. Kulu and Maddison, people that are comfortable with the football. People that can keep the ball, keep it moving. They can interchange. Kulu can go right, centrally, left, in the middle. James Maddison can float left, drop back into midfield, go into the playmaker role. Now you've got options. Now you've got flair. Now you've got ball-playing footballers, right? Now, ideally, I'd want a proper number 8 that's a ball player instead of Kulu there. I want a Wharton. I want a Locatelli. I want somebody there. I want a Stiller. But now, all of a sudden, you're looking brighter, aren't you? But look, we're miles off that being able to happen because Mawani can't stay fit. Kudus hasn't been fit. Simmons is taking time to get going. Kulu and Maddison are out. So you're going to be one-dimensional. You're going to be one-dimensional because you don't have the players to do anything else. And I said this the other day to my mates, not YouTube mates, in a group chat. And I asked them, and I said, and some of them are Chelsea, some Arsenal, some Liverpool, United, some West Ham. And I turned around and said to them, guys, be honest with me, from the Spurs forward line, midfield and forward, who are you taking from Tottenham at your squads? And other than people saying Kudus, there was, and maybe Paulinho, no one was mentioned. No one was like, yeah, I don't want, people going, I don't want Odegaard. I don't want Tell. I don't want Richie. I don't want Johnson. Do you know what I mean? They don't want Bentancur. These clubs wouldn't want these players. But our fans are going, we could be expansive with them. And sure, we can try, but the stats have shown we can't control a football. Haven't we got the most miscontrolled passes in the Premier League? What does that tell these people that seem to rate these players? Right? But now you get again, I'm just using, you get a Stiller in midfield. Imagine this is Stiller. Imagine that is Stiller. 1 second, let's do that. Imagine that is Stiller. Right? Imagine that is Semenyo. Imagine that is Ivan Toney. Right? Now, all of a sudden, I've got a ball-playing midfielder and a DM. I've got a creative player, 2 wide men with trick, skill, pace, and I've got a forward that can hold the ball up. Now, all of a sudden, Spurs look a completely different proposition. Right? With 3 new players, we look a completely different proposition. So that's why I'll fight this tooth and nail. Because we don't even have a centre forward who can hold the ball up properly. Like properly, battle for everything, hold the ball up, bring others into the game, still grabs goals. Ivan Toney would do that. Just using him as an example, by the way, just using him as an example. Imagine, look at that 11. Look at that 11. Now tell me what an improvement that is on Tottenham Hotspur. Now tell me why we can't and don't do things like this. Tell me why we don't. Why can't we? Why don't we do things like this? Instead, we left ourselves with midfield options of Bergvall, Sarr, Gray, Bissouma, Bentancur. We left ourselves with left winger options of Johnson, Tell, Odegaard. We left ourselves with striker options like Tell, Richarlison, Solanke. Who does that? None of the big teams around us do that. None of them act like that. That is what Spurs need to get out of the habit of. None of this. Just support every player. Listen, you want to watch better football? Simple. You buy better players. You want us to loosen up a bit? You buy better players. Right now, Spurs go forward. They get the ball to Brennan Johnson. Ball's been given away. Ball goes into Tell. He's given the ball away. Ball goes to Odegaard. Other than the Man United game for a 10, 15-minute period, nothing comes of it. So we've got to, for me, as I said, as a group of Spurs fans, take a step back and realise what we are and what we're not. Right? What we are and what we're not. And it's not a computer game. I've said this to so many people. It's not a computer game. People going, what, we can't be more attacking. You could be more attacking all you want, but you haven't got the quality up there. Let's have an example of this. Look at the Villa game. Look at the Villa game. It was mostly Spurs in the Villa game. And every time that ball went forward to Odegaard, to Johnson, whoever was playing, nothing really happened. It bounced back. There wasn't the composure. There wasn't the ability on the ball, the calmness, the composure. Right? So when you've got people in the chat like Matt going, just play more attacking. Well, these average footballers tried that last year and got ripped apart every game because the ball bounces back. So I get it. Are we more pragmatic? Yes. Are we more pragmatic for a reason? Yes. Is there a drama? No, I don't think so. Are we right at the beginning of a new manager's tenure? Yes. So I don't get it. I don't get it. I think it's a lot of clickbait. I think when you speak to fans of other clubs, they all look at our squad and they don't think it's what the Spurs fans seem to think it is. Like they don't. Listen, guys, I've said this before. I'll say it again for the millions that don't listen. I love forward, front-footed attacking football. I love it. But I'm also aware that you've got to have the players to pull it off. You can't just otherwise. Let me ask you this, right? And for all these people, for the people in the chat, for the Reezies, the Matts, for these people that say things like this, just take more risks. For all these people, right? If it was as simple as they say, why isn't everyone in the league doing it? If it was as simple as those people say, why aren't Wolves playing good front-footed football? Why aren't Leeds? Right? I mean, we can go through this, right? Why aren't Palace? Why aren't this is the point, right? If it was as easy as everyone says, everyone would be doing it. Everyone would be doing it. And this is something my uncle said to me the other day. He said, all these experts, by the way, he was a head of an academy. So he's a top ranked coach. He said, all these experts, right, that say these things like this. He said they'd never be able to go over to the field and put on a coaching session with players. They wouldn't know how to do it. 2, if they think it's that simple, why doesn't everyone do it? So again, Wolves didn't sign the players we did. Who did we sign to play this front-footed, forward-attacking football? We've got Tell or Odegaard on the left wing. We've got Richarlison or Tell up front. We've got no ball playing number 8. Right? Who is it that who did we sign that changes that? We lost Son's goals, didn't replace them. Maddison, we lost all of his goals and assists, haven't replaced them. And maybe Simmons will be that guy when he gets up to speed. Teams get found out when you go expansive. Teams get found out. We've seen multiple teams do it. Look at Bielsa's Leeds. Look at Bielsa's Leeds. Oh, we play good football. Yeah, but you get beaten every week. And by the way, I don't think expansive means good football. Expansive football that gives the ball away a lot, for me, I don't want to see it. And exactly, Philly. Exactly, Phil. Exactly. Now, why can Man City play really good football when they want to? They've got top-class players in every position. Arsenal, when they want to, top-class players. Liverpool, last year, they got top-class players. Chelsea, over the years, top-class players. We don't have that. And I think the quicker these people accept that, the better. What we should be saying is, why aren't we buying them? What we should be doing is saying, stop praising transfer windows that weren't brilliant and saying, we have not bought again what we need. And it's so funny. All the people that are saying the window was great are the ones complaining about the style of play. Some of us, and I know many of you in my chat were saying this, saying, why haven't we signed what we needed? So many of us said, why haven't we signed what we needed? Why? Why have we not signed what we needed? But too many people went, what a window. Was it? What do you mean, was it? What a window. We signed Colin Mawani when he weren't fit on the last day of the window. Right? We signed Xavi Simmons, who's our fourth choice. By the way, I like Xavi Simmons. So I think he'll come good. Signed Xavi Simmons 2 weeks after the season had started because we couldn't get Rodgers, couldn't get Eze, couldn't get Morgan Gibbs-White. We loaned Paulinho. But people are going, what an amazing window. I don't think it was. Said it at the time. I said we were going to have these problems. And I've been proven 100% right. And that doesn't give me joy. I wanted to see the left winger signed. I wanted to see a number 8, a ball-playing midfielder come in. But you've got to have the players. You've got to have the players to do it. Let me remove that. Got to have the players. As I said, you think, right? Let me ask you this question, guys. So, Antonio Conte's team that got fourth, would it have got fourth without Kane and Son up top? Wouldn't, would it? Wouldn't. Right? Jose Mourinho, over 18 months, was fourth at Spurs. Over 18 months, he had the fourth most points of any manager over those 18 months. Would he have done that without Kane and Son? No. We're seeing a pattern here, right? Like you're seeing a pattern. Those teams weren't great, but they had great centre forwards. This team isn't great and doesn't have great centre forwards. And that can't be overlooked. I said, stick Kane and Son in this team right now. We beat Man United easily last weekend because Kane and Son can control the football. So you don't lose it every time you get it. Agreed. Sure, he did. But when we're saying a washed up Son, this was 2 years ago. This was 3 years ago. Son wasn't washed up. He wasn't what he was, but he still gave you goals, right? And was playing once a week. Right? He was playing once a week. We're currently playing twice a week. We don't have Kane. We don't have Son. And it's not about Kane and Son. It's about replacing them. Where are the replacements? Tell and Odegaard are not replacements for Kane and Son. That's embarrassing. Again, Paul, bang on. When we lost Eriksen, we didn't replace him, did we? How many years was it between losing Eriksen and bringing in Maddison? I mean, we lost Eriksen under Jose, right? And then we bought Maddison. What did we have after Jose? Jose, Nuno, Conte. 3 managers later, we then got Maddison. So I feel like there needs to be a little bit of slack across the club, right? Just a little bit of slack across the club. By the way, for all the people saying, got to go to a back three, as I said at the beginning of this show, right? You've got to have the players able to do it. You've got to have the players fit. And at the moment, we've got 3 centre-backs. You can't play a back three if you've only got 3 centre-backs fit. You need at least 1 more on the bench. So I get it. I don't necessarily disagree, but it's not that straightforward. Because you would train all this week with a back three. One of them gets injured in the first 10 minutes. Now you've got to go to a back 4 and you've not trained that way. This is the difference between fans and coaches. Doesn't mean we won't go to a back 3 ever. I think we will. We've seen throughout his career that Frank isn't scared to go to a back 3. Wayne, huge losses, my man. Huge losses. Big up to you, Wayne. Huge losses. And as I said, Wayne, I didn't expect, right? I didn't expect that Spurs were going to get a ready-made Kane, a ready-made Son. But I did expect we were going to do better than Tell, Solanke, Odegaard, Johnson, Valise, Ritchie and Brian Hill. Unfortunately, Wayne, Spurs have fallen off a cliff massively in terms of ability, squad ability. I looked at it the other day, as I said. If you look back, what was it, 6 years ago or 7 years ago to when we were unbeaten at home? What year were we unbeaten at home? Was it 17, 18? Can't even remember. And you look at that Spurs 11 and you look at it now and just go, God, how have we got progressively worse? Like, I don't understand. Oh, but the thing is, Wayne, I think we did, right? I think we did realize how good they were. The point was that the club have been so bad at replacing them. You know, when you sell Kane, you've got to go out and buy a goal scorer. Now, you're not going to sign a Harry Kane. Of course you're not. But you've got to find a goal scorer. Spurs didn't in the first year. We brought Brennan Johnson in. And in the second year, we went Solanke. And it was like, oh my gosh, is this really where we're at as a club? Or is this where we're at? Is this where we're at as a club, that these are the players we're signing, the Valises, the Brian Hills, the Richarlison? Then why didn't the previous manager buy a number 6? He said he doesn't play with one. He may have done. I don't think he would have. As I said, he hasn't got enough centre-backs to play. I don't understand how people are not getting this. This is a real risk to go to a back 3 when you've only got 3 fit centre-halves. This is a real risk. And absolutely bang on. Absolutely bang on. The planning. We are now in a position where, and this has been happening over the last 4, 5, 6 years. We are now seeing we didn't have any, we didn't even have any planning as a club. And we are now seeing that now. Over the years, it's got worse and worse and worse. This player replaced with that player. This player, Lloris replaced with Vicario. Vicario was nowhere near good enough. Nowhere near good enough as good as Lloris. Nowhere near. Porro's nowhere near what Walker was. Right? The 2 centre-backs are good, but they're nowhere near, for me, Vertonghen and Van de Ven. Wanyama, Dembele, we haven't got any midfielder as good as those two. Son, Kane, Ericsson. I mean, I think it's going to take time. And as I've said, this isn't about digging out Spurs. This is about fans just taking a little step back and going, yeah, we've got a lot of work to do here. Got a lot of work to do. And no, Matt, we're not doing this. He came out and said it. He was asked before, do you need number 6? He went, oh, we play with 2 8s. He said it. We said, we play with 2 8s. Let's not do this. No, 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 no. And by the way, his football wasn't super attacking. It was just super wide open. You've got to get out of Ange's arse, mate. It's boring. You've got to get out of Ange's arse. It is so boring, right? Yeah, possibly, maybe. I just think when Wanyama was more explosive. Listen, I love Paulinho, but you get my point, right? Is that in general, when you look at that team and you look at where we are right now, there's a hell of a lot of work to do. There's a hell of a lot of work to do. And the fans aren't patient enough for it. The fans thought that the manager's going to come in, pick up an absolute shit show, and within 3 months, we're all going, da-da! He's sorted everything out. And unfortunately, until we do have that bit of patience, it's not going to change. Unfortunately, that's not going to change until you get the players in. Completely agree with you. Shambolic transfer window. Shambolic transfer window. Mate, we'd be carved wide open if we played a 4-2-2-2. We'd be carved wide open. Down the flanks everywhere. We'd be carved wide open. Thomas Frank's not an idiot, right? He knows what he's doing. He's keeping us tight. It might not be pleasing on the eye immediately, but he's keeping it tight to keep us up there and in contention until we can get to transfer windows. So, look, I think that we've got to... It's a long season. And a lot needs to be done. As I've said, I think this is 4, 5, 6 windows. I think we need a lot out, and a lot in. Said this in the summer, and I was cold. I said, listen, I stand by my you guys, you know me. I said the window was negligent. I'm standing by it. It was negligent. It was wasteful. We hardly spent any money in the grand scheme of things. You got a new manager coming in. You're thinking, go and spend 200, 250 million. Really back this guy. Nope, we didn't. Couple of loans that people went, oh my God. Like, for me, didn't do enough. And we're paying for that. But the manager is doing what he can to keep us up there. So a couple of quick super chats. Big up to Ben Kudus or Cordes, however I'm saying this. He said, I'm 21, you lucky git. And the last time we won at Emirates, I was 6. Wow. I was at that game, if you're talking about Yunus Kabul. We've beaten them in the cup, right? But the last league win was what? 2010, right? 2010, 2011, whatever year that was. And Yunus Kabul, we were 2-0 down and Big Yunus scored a header late on to win it. Who came back was it Bale, Van der Vaart and Kabul maybe? Or did Lennon get one? I can't remember. But yeah, bad times, my man. Bad times, yeah. So that's why I'm not expecting a lot. But big up to you, Ben. Thank you very much. Big up to Wayne Holland. Very generous, my man. Thank you very much. I see that your Leicester team picked up in the last game. Maybe a second half of the season push for your boys, Wayne. How you doing? Hope you are well. Much love, bro. Thank you. And Jordan, very generous, has said, we have assembled a squad that is half potential and a lot of the other half isn't good enough. Completely agree. We are asking our inexperienced players who ain't ready to step up because our experienced players are inconsistent. Completely agree. And this is where we're at. We're at the stage, Jordan, we are at the stage where fans are now arguing between Should it be Bergvall or Sarr playing? I mean, really? Should it be Tell or Odeberg? Should it be Bergvall or Sarr? Should it be Richie or Solanke? Look at the options we're seeing, my man. You're right. Players like Bergvall, Gray, they should be in behind the first team players, waiting their chance and learning. But instead, we've got fans going, oh, I think Gray should play this week. Based off what? I think Bergvall should. Based off what? And what happens is, I think, Jordan, I think we're putting so much hope and copium into some of these younger players that we're wanting them to be better than they are actually ready for. I always say this, don't I? Gray and Bergvall could end up being world beaters. Right now, they're nowhere near it. Right now, I don't think they're ready to play at that level of Premier League football. But we got fans go, oh, Bergvall. Oh, poor Bergvall. And I watch him and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what you do, mate. I don't really know what it is he does. He got a good header against West Ham. But this is what we do. Archie Gray. Got people in the chat calling him dynamic. I've never seen him dynamic. Sarr should play in the 10. Based on what? Based on what? So I make you right, I make you completely right. Half young, the other half. And then I think we've got 4 or 5 who are good. Van der Ven, Romero, Kudus, Paulinho, Simmons, when he gets up to speed, Madison. But again, and case in point, as I said, Gray would have been the perfect fit based off of what? Based off of what? Arsenal's midfielders, right? Arsenal's midfielders would knock him off the ball for fun. He has got no power on him at all. But suddenly, he'd be perfect for this game. These are the fans, by the way. These are the fans that say things like, we should be top 4. And then they're praising Archie Gray. Anyone but Bentancur. Right now, let me ask you guys all a question. You're playing against Arsenal and they're both fit. Do you want Gray or Bentancur in your midfield? They're both fit, away at the Emirates. Who is it you're having in your 11? Gray or Bentancur? The unknown who's never done anything, right? Or the seasoned pro that plays centre mid for Uruguay? Let me know your thoughts in the chat, right? Because I can't understand this. Fans are making up things that they've seen from him. Making up, right? Oh, but I've seen Gray do this. When? When did you people see these skills that the rest of us didn't? Like, what game is it that you're showcasing? I think Archie Gray, by the way, I thought he did well against Monaco, filling in at left back. I thought he did well. Not going overboard, I thought he did well. But I've seen nothing that makes me go, he should be central midfield above Rodrigo Bentancur. Right? And our mate Matt in the chat can say, I've been championing him for ages, but based off of what? When did this is here you go? I'll ask the question. For those saying Gray, I'll ask the question. Which game did you see all of these skills that you're trying to convince the rest of us of? Which game? Because I've not seen it. Now, if you're saying, right, we're at home to Burnley like we were first game of the season, sure, get him in midfield. No problem with it. Wasn't even impressed with him in that game, if I'm honest. Thought he looked quite poor. Away at the best team in the country, people want Gray. My mind's blown. Those same fans, right? Those same fans tell me we should be finishing top 4 whilst praising Archie Gray. Archie Gray for me, I've said this a number of times. Archie Gray for me this year, if Spurs had anything about them, Spurs would have bought in a proper ball-playing midfielder. We would have sent Gray on loan somewhere to play every game, 90 minutes, and give him experience. If we were a proper club, that's what we would have done. But we didn't. I actually agree with you, Sam. I thought Archie was terrible in the first half against Burnley. I thought the whole team picked it up in the second, but I don't know which game. I keep saying this, right? I get it. There are people that latch onto players, right? People latch onto players, and I love that. You can latch onto a player you like. I could turn around and go, oh my gosh, Valise should be given a game. Based off what? No, you'll see. Yeah, but based off what? You'll see. But based off what? You need to evidence it. But Gray has never been, but sure. So now tell me who is brave in the midfield. This is the same conversation I have with Lubo week after week. Brilliant. Let's go with your theory. We need to be brave in midfield. With who? Who's brave in the midfield? Give me evidence. Give me evidence. Because I've seen Sarr play there. He runs around and gives the ball away. I've seen Gray play there. Doesn't do anything for me. I've seen Bergvall play there. Runs around and gives the ball away. Who is the brave central midfielder that we've got better than Bentancur? Who? We can't just say it. We need options. You've got to have options. That's the point, right? You've got to be able to come with solutions. You can't just say, we need to be braver in midfield. Sure, I want us to be braver. Go and buy a ball-playing midfielder. Right? Because the problem is, like, Lubo did this all last year. Matt did this all last year. They were telling me he's a number 6. Now they're telling me he's got to play in midfield because he's brave. Hang on, I thought he was a number 6. So now he's not a 6 based off something that they've seen the rest of us haven't. But look, this is where we're at, right? As a fan base, we're having conversations about Archie Gray should be in the Spurs 11. And again, the stats and the data show that this is absolutely not true. The stats and the data show you that this is absolutely not true. This is why people think you're a troll. Difference is Bergvall gives the ball away at every opportunity. Bentancur doesn't. Right? So when you want to play your expansive football, basically what you mean is you want players that give the ball away a lot. Look, I don't want Bentancur as our long-term number 8. Said it before. I've said it before. But at the moment, he's the best of what we've got. This is what happens when you buy Gray, Bergvall, who said Spurs' next 3 midfield signings are going to be those 3 kids? At what stage does someone not turn around and say, we need a senior pro? We need a ball-playing midfielder. And again, it's like the left winger argument, the striker argument. Why do we not replace what we need? Why do we not buy these players? Right? Why do we not? This is what I truly, truly can't understand. And we champion these players that fans have never seen do anything through hope. It's copium. They've not seen anything. It's hope. It's hope that Archie Gray's better than Bentancur. I've watched Gray and Bentancur. Bentancur's a much better footballer than Archie Gray. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get this twisted. Big up Jordan. Said, this is how mental our fans are. We're discussing Gray, who's injured and was signed for huge money and can't get anywhere in the team. Bissouma is better than Gray, signed Bergvall, and he's poor. Bang on. Sam said, watch back your videos from the summer and everything you said was spot on. You were screaming for a midfielder when everyone else said we were good in that area. I said it at the time. When you've got people like Matt going, oh, Archie Gray, blah, blah, blah. Told you, got to have better. Got to have better than Bentancur, Gray and Bissouma and Bergvall and Sarr. Got to. Right? But again, Sarr and Bergvall will be top players based on what? I've not seen anything from those two that makes me go, they'll be top players. No one can tell me what they do. Bang on, Andy. Bang on. No one can tell me what they do. I've seen Destiny. Big up Destiny, right? But no, that's not an answer. See, that's a fan. That's copium. Destiny, you've been banging this drum for ages. Bergvall will be class. Tell me Bergvall's best 3 qualities. Tell me his best 3 qualities that you've seen. Tell me his best 3 qualities. Now, he could be. He could be. But you can't turn around and go, he will be based on time. Based on what? Look, again, look, you're not answering. Destiny, you're not answering the question. Everyone notice, I'll call it out. You're not actually giving me a football answer. Give me an answer. Running with the ball, he gives it away. Shooting, his shooting is terrible. And aggression, he gives away a lot of fouls. What? What are we doing? He's shooting. Sorry, how many? What? Yeah, I've heard this about every young player at Spurs for decades. Time. I could do this for everyone. More. Time. Divine. Time. Donnelly. Time. Vuskovic. Time. It's too easy to say. Basically, what this means is you don't know what you're talking about, and it's hope. Basically, you've got no evidence. The free skill sets you've given me from the player, right, are things that he's not good at. He runs with the ball and carries it and gives it away, right? His shooting isn't good, but you've named those as his strengths. Yeah, see, but but I'm a grown adult. I don't say things. He's a clear baller. At what? This is what I mean. And guys, as I said, fans like this don't deserve good signings, I'm telling you, because they think the players we've got are good enough. This is the problem. In a couple of years, Bergvall might be. But right now, we're making things up that he's good at when he's not. He's good at shooting. When? When has anyone ever seen him good at shooting? He's got good aggression. What does that mean? He's good carrying the ball, but he gives it away nearly every time. What are we doing here? If he had Kane and Son to pass to, I'll give over. He's one of the worst passers of the ball at the club. Go and look at the facts. Yeah, listen, I'm going to end the show and send you over to Stell. I think when I start getting people like Destiny, the problem with those fans, right, is they hype up everyone. This is what I mean. They hype up everyone who's done nothing. At the moment, Bergvall's a decent young footballer who's done nothing. Right. At the moment. Now, in 2 years, 3 years' time, he might be brilliant. Or he might have fallen off a cliff. But right now, I never watch him and go, "Core, what a top player." Exactly. Mate, exactly. But his passing's not good. His work rate's good. Sure. I'm not going to call a player quality because of their work rate. By that metric, everyone's quality that runs around a lot. We just got to stop hyping everyone up. But again, we're making things up. I've shown everyone his passing. His passing is horrible. I'll show everyone again before we go. And this is what you get. His passing is terrible, right? And everyone says, "Oh, he's good at it." Look at his passing. Look at his passing. Nope, not that. It's non-existent. His passing is non-existent. And listen, I think once we get to the stage that trolls use the word ceilings, let me ask you this before we go, and everyone, because Matt is a troll. How on earth does Matt, somebody on the internet, know what any of these players' ceilings are? What a stupid thing we say. Their ceiling is high. What does that mean? Are you watching them train? What does that mean? I could say that for any young player at Spurs. Their ceiling's high. I heard this about Tommy Carroll, Jake Livermore. I heard this about Jamie O'Hara. I heard this about Ryan Mason. I heard this about Marcus Edwards. I heard this about Troy Parrott. I heard this about bum. Saba, compare him to other 18-year-olds who start in the Premier League. Well, I mean, isn't he 19, nearly 20? And how many 18, 19-year-olds start in the Premier League? But listen, when I hear the word ceiling, he's got a high ceiling. What does that mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? Who makes that up? So can I ask you a question? Right? Let me ask you a lot of questions just before I send you over to the Spurs corner. Who gets to say that a player has a high ceiling or not? and they're both not good enough to be at this massive club getting game time in a great league. And they're both part of the reason why we're not a great team to watch and we're not a good team going forward, but you love them. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Matt has ruined another show and I've let him because he just waffles. Literally, as I said, if I say it's Wednesday, he says it's Thursday. Then he goes and cries about me in other chats. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. What I will say, big up to Andy. So Jordan is bang on and we have fans who want good football. Absolutely. This is the point. Jordan was bang on. Jordan was bang on. You got Jordan who's bang on. And then you got people like Destiny and Matt that just make up how good players are that have done nothing. I see every show, I see Destiny in there going, oh, Bergvall, Bergvall, Bergvall. He does nothing every week and he goes, Bergvall, Bergvall, Bergvall. He was horrible the last 2 Sweden games I watched him play. Horrible in those as well. Anyway, take care, guys. Big up to Andy Lester. Thanks, Andy. Cheers, bro. We'll have a members-only show this week. Take care, everyone. Much love. When you get over to the Spurs corner, just say Sava Raid or FHTV Raid. Much love. Take care. And as always, come on, you Spurs.